Long before the Ballon d'Or trophies, before the Champions League nights, before millions of people shouted his name, there was a skinny boy running through the steep streets of Madeira, Portugal. He wasn't running because cameras were watching. There were no cameras. He wasn't running because people believed in him. Very few people did. He was running because somewhere deep inside, he had already seen a version of himself the world had not. That boy was Cristiano Ronaldo. People often believe greatness begins with talent. Talent helps, but talent has buried more dreams than failure ever has. Because talent whispers, you're already good enough. Discipline whispers something different. You can become better. Cristiano listened to discipline. He grew up in a small home where money was always scarce. His father worked long hours. His mother fought to keep food on the table. Luxury wasn't part of his childhood. Dreams were. From the beginning, football wasn't entertainment. It was escape. Every kick of the ball carried a silent promise. One day, my family will never struggle again. Most children play. Cristiano practiced. While others celebrated victories, he searched for weaknesses. Every missed shot became another lesson. Every defeat became another reason to stay after training. There is something dangerous about a person who falls in love with improvement, because improvement has no finish line. The better they become, the hungrier they grow. Cristiano wasn't trying to be the best player on his street, then the best player in Madeira, then Portugal. Every mountain he climbed simply revealed another one. At 12 years old, he left Madeira to join Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon. Imagine leaving your family, your friends, everything familiar, at an age when most children still needed their parents every day. He cried. He felt alone. He missed home. Many young players would have returned. Comfort is persuasive. It tells you, go back. This dream is too expensive. Cristiano stayed because he understood something that few people discover so young. Every extraordinary dream demands an extraordinary sacrifice. There is no greatness without separation. You separate yourself from comfort, from excuses, from the ordinary life everyone else accepts. That separation hurts, but it also transforms. Inside the academy, Cristiano wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the finished product. But he possessed something coaches cannot teach: relentlessness. If training ended, he kept training. If everyone went home, he remained. If someone worked hard, he worked harder. People often ask, what is Ronaldo's greatest gift? Some say speed. Others say athleticism. Others say his finishing. They're all wrong. His greatest gift was refusing to believe he had reached his limit. Every achievement became another starting line. Every success became another challenge. He trained while others rested, recovered while others celebrated, prepared while others made excuses. That is why consistency defeats talent. Talent may win a season. Consistency builds the legacy. One day, that relentless young boy from Madeira would stand in front of packed stadiums. Millions would wear his name. Children would imitate his celebration. The world would call him one of the greatest footballers who ever lived. But none of those moments began inside a stadium. They began in silence, on lonely training grounds, inside empty gyms, during mornings when nobody was watching. Because long before Cristiano Ronaldo defeated defenders, he defeated the voice that tells ordinary people, that's enough for today. He answered that voice with 5 words: one more repetition. And history quietly began changing.
History quietly began changing. Not because Cristiano Ronaldo was the most talented young footballer in Portugal, but because he refused to let anyone outwork him. As the years passed, his name slowly began spreading through the academy. Coaches noticed something unusual. When training ended, Cristiano wasn't looking for the exit. He was looking for another ball, another sprint, another opportunity to improve. He understood a truth that separates champions from everyone else. The scoreboard remembers the 90 minutes. Life rewards the thousands of hours nobody sees. Soon, his performances became impossible to ignore. At just 16 years old, he was playing with older boys, stronger boys, more experienced boys. Many expected him to struggle. Cristiano expected himself to grow. That difference mattered. Most people enter difficult situations hoping to survive. Extraordinary people enter them expecting to evolve. Every challenge became another teacher. Every mistake became another lesson. Every criticism became another source of fuel. Then, one night changed everything. Sporting CP played a friendly match against one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United. The stadium was full. Nobody had come to watch an unknown teenager. They came to watch Manchester United. But by the end of the night, everyone was talking about one person, Cristiano Ronaldo. Again and again, he attacked defenders without fear. He ran at them, past them, around them. His confidence confused experienced professionals. The Manchester United players were stunned. Some of them even told their manager after the match, "We have to sign this kid." Imagine that. A teenager making world-class players believe he belonged beside them. That wasn't luck. It was preparation finally meeting opportunity. There was a lesson hid inside that moment. People think opportunities create success. The truth is, opportunities reveal success that has already been built in private. If Cristiano had wasted his training sessions, that match would have been ordinary. Instead, years of invisible discipline suddenly became visible. Soon after, he signed for Manchester United. The dream was becoming reality. But dreams have a strange habit. Once you reach one, another appears. England was different. The football was faster. The defenders were stronger. The pressure was enormous. Every newspaper questioned him. Some called him too flashy. Others claimed he would never survive in the Premier League. Most people shrink when criticized. Cristiano expanded. Every insult became another workout. Every doubt became another reason to improve. He spent hours in the gym after training, worked on his weaker foot, improved his heading, strengthened his body, practiced free kicks long after everyone else had gone home. People often admire confidence. They rarely admire what confidence is built upon. Confidence is not positive thinking. Confidence is evidence. It is knowing how many hours you have invested when nobody else was watching. That is why Cristiano walked onto the pitch without fear. He knew something his critics did not. He had already won thousands of battles inside empty training grounds. The match was simply where the world finally noticed. Slowly, the skinny teenager from Madeira disappeared. In his place stood a complete athlete. Faster, stronger, more disciplined, more dangerous. Goals began arriving, then trophies, then championships.
But the most remarkable thing wasn't the success. It was his reaction to success. He refused to relax. He celebrated, then returned to work. Because Cristiano understood something that destroys many champions. Yesterday's victory cannot win today's game. Every sunrise resets the scoreboard. You are only as good as the work you're willing to do today. That mindset transformed him from a promising young player into one of the most feared footballers on earth. The world saw natural talent. Cristiano saw unfinished potential. And every morning, he chased it again. The world saw natural talent. Cristiano saw unfinished potential. And every morning, he chased it again. By the time Cristiano Ronaldo established himself at Manchester United, he had already become one of the best footballers in the world. The crowds adored him. The trophies began arriving. His name echoed through stadiums across Europe. For many players, this would have been enough. Not for Cristiano. Because he was never competing against the player standing across from him. He was competing against the player he had been yesterday. That is a dangerous mindset. Not because it creates pressure, but because it eliminates excuses. If yesterday you completed 100 free kicks, today you must complete 101. If yesterday you trained for 2 hours, today you stay a little longer. When your only competition is your former self, there is nowhere left to hide. Soon, the biggest clubs in the world came calling. Then, in 2009, history was made. Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Real Madrid for what was then a world record transfer fee. The price tag followed him everywhere. Newspapers questioned whether he was worth it. Pundits predicted he would fail. Opposing fans mocked him before he even touched the ball. Pressure has a strange effect on people. Some collapse beneath it. Others discover who they truly are. Cristiano chose the second path. Instead of fearing expectations, he trained until expectations became too small. While teammates left the training ground, he stayed behind, practicing finishing, practicing headers, practicing free kicks, practicing movements that looked almost identical every single day. People often confuse repetition with boredom. Masters understand something different. Repetition creates freedom. Because when a skill has been repeated thousands of times, it no longer requires thought. It becomes instinct. Cristiano didn't score impossible goals because he was lucky. He scored them because his body had rehearsed those moments long before they ever happened. Every celebration seen by millions had been prepared in silence. There is another lesson hidden inside his journey. The world celebrates results, but results are only shadows. Habits are the real object creating them. Change the habit, and eventually the result changes too. Cristiano never chased goals. He chased better habits. The goals simply followed. Then came another challenge. People began comparing him with another extraordinary footballer. Every newspaper, every television debate, every football fan asked the same question: who is greater? Most athletes would become distracted. Cristiano became disciplined. He understood that comparisons steal focus. The only thing he could control was today's work. Not headlines, not opinions, not debates. Only preparation. That philosophy carried him through season after season. Injuries came, criticism came, defeats came, but so did another sunrise and another training session. Greatness isn't built because life becomes easier. Greatness is built because discipline survives difficult seasons. Cristiano proved that repeatedly. There were mornings when his body ached, evenings when defeat lingered in his mind, moments when millions questioned whether his best days were behind him. Yet every doubt received the same answer: work. Not anger, not excuses, not complaints, just work. That may be Cristiano Ronaldo's greatest lesson. When emotions scream,
Let discipline answer. Because emotions change with the weather. Discipline remains. Years passed. Goals became records. Records became history. Championships became expectations. But hidden beneath every headline, the boy from Madeira never disappeared. He still believed there was another level waiting to be reached. Another weakness waiting to be improved. Another reason to arrive before everyone else and leave after everyone else. That is why some people inspire generations, not because they avoid struggle, but because they teach us that consistency is stronger than motivation. And somewhere, inside another empty training ground, while cameras waited for the next match, Cristiano Ronaldo quietly completed one more repetition.
Cristiano Ronaldo quietly completed. To the world, he was already a legend. He had won league titles, Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Or trophies, broken goal-scoring records that many believed would never be touched. For most athletes, this is where the story slows down. Success becomes comfort. Comfort becomes routine. Routine becomes decline. But Cristiano Ronaldo has always feared one thing more than failure: becoming comfortable. That is why, even after conquering Europe, he continued training as though he were still the skinny boy from Madeira trying to earn his first opportunity. People often ask, what keeps him going? Money? He had more than enough. Fame? He had already achieved worldwide recognition. Records? He had broken countless of them. So why continue? Because the greatest competitors are not addicted to winning, they're addicted to becoming better. Winning is simply the evidence. Improvement is the obsession. Cristiano understood something that most people discover too late. The moment you believe you have arrived, you stop growing. Growth demands humility. It demands waking up every morning believing there is still something left to learn. That mindset carried him from Manchester United to Real Madrid to Juventus and back to Manchester United. Every new chapter brought new critics. He is too old, he has lost his speed, his best years are behind him. The words changed. Cristiano's response never did. Work. That is the remarkable thing about disciplined people. They rarely argue with criticism. They answer it with consistency. While others spent their energy explaining themselves, Cristiano invested his energy improving himself. Results became his language. There is another lesson hidden inside his journey. Your environment matters. Cristiano surrounded himself with habits that made excellence unavoidable. Healthy eating, recovery, sleep, training, preparation. He treated his body like someone protecting an investment because he knew something simple. Your dreams can only travel as far as your discipline is willing to carry them. People admire the trophies. They should admire the habits. The trophies are temporary. The habits created them. Eventually, Cristiano achieved something few athletes ever experience. He remained elite across different leagues, different teammates, different coaches, and different generations. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because principles never grow old. Discipline never becomes outdated. Hard work never loses value. Preparation never stops paying dividends. As younger stars emerged, Cristiano never feared them. Competition wasn't his enemy. Complacency was. He welcomed every challenge because every challenge forced him to become better. That is the mindset of extraordinary people. They don't ask, "How do I stay ahead?" They ask, "How do I keep growing?" There will come a day when Cristiano Ronaldo retires. The stadiums will become quieter, another generation will arise, records will eventually be broken. That is the nature of time. But his greatest legacy will never be the number of goals he scored or the trophies he lifted. His greatest legacy will be proving that discipline can carry an ordinary dream further than extraordinary talent alone. He reminded the world that greatness is rarely built in moments of excitement. It is built in ordinary mornings, when nobody is watching, when your body is tired,
When motivation has disappeared, when excuses sound reasonable, and you choose to continue anyway. That is where champions are truly created. Not under bright lights, but in quiet moments, when quitting would be easier than one more repetition. Perhaps that is why Cristiano Ronaldo inspires millions, not because everyone wants to become a footballer, but because everyone understands the battle between comfort and potential. Every one of us has a choice, to accept the limits we have today or to challenge them tomorrow. Cristiano made that choice thousands of times. One workout, one sprint, one repetition, one day at a time. Welcome to the inner mirror. Because every legend leaves behind the same truth. Talent may open the first door, but discipline is the key that unlocks every door after it. Until the next reflection, look within.